Brutal. And so I go, you know what? I'm not going to go totally obvious. I'll put on my Mike Tyson Punch-Out bald bull shirt. Kevin will notice this, man. I guarantee it. Maybe Jay will know. We'll figure this out.
I saw it, and I was like, you know what? That's cool. But this is a man who's comfortable with himself enough to be like, after the guest, I'm gonna dress proper.
I'm gonna be me.
Yes.
You know, I'm a gentleman.
Yeah.
Well, and one of your favorite hockey teams is the Edmonton Oilers.
Absolutely.
Colors are blue and orange.
Oh,
Wow.
Yeah,
that's my lucky colors.
Go to Ashley's blog because after our conversation about getting dressed, she took pictures of all of our outfits. So if you want to see them, they're posted on Ashley's blog.
This is embarrassing.
He's the best dressed guy in the room.
Thank you.
So crazy.
Oh my god.
Unreal.
And you're making a watch work. Nobody wears a watch anymore because everyone's got the cell phones, but you're making it work. And it's the short sleeves and the orange that's doing it.
Can you hear it through the glass back there? Sorry, all I hear is you guys.
Oh my
This is a good day. This is a very good day.
room. I think
She normally sits there.
does she?
Yeah,
Is that it?
yeah. Well, I mean, we can't.
in,
You know, no, she's fine right now.
She's going to try and force Flintstone vitamins on you like she did Captain America.
I might take some,
Yeah,
Well,
especially going to the con with all them germs.
Yeah, well, Captain America took some, so
Did he?
yep, he did.
So
Maybe that's what made him so angry. These drugs, these Flintstone sour gummy drugs. And he reacted to Mewes in a real aggro. Like, what'd you say? He like roided out on Flintstone sour gummies.
Podcast.
Oh,
Thank
yeah.
you. So I got to a point where obviously I like the sound of my own voice, so I was just like, let's start podcasting. I started this podcast with Scott Mosier, guy produced all my flicks back in the day. About 4 years ago we did that. That almost coming up on 2 years ago, we started building the network out. It used to just be one podcast that I did with Moj whenever we had time. We did it semi-regularly. And then we started adding more to it because I was like, this is great. You know, it's like, you guys got the job. Theater of the mind is beautiful because what I do for a living, what I used to do for a living, it requires you to sit down and watch it. You have to put everything aside and dedicate your attention, at least the first time, to watching it. When you're doing this stuff, the beauty is people driving, they're accomplishing two things at once. Driving, listening to you guys. And you're creating theater of the mind for them and they forget that horrible ride.
Right.
I mean, I've driven in, I know commuter driving, drive time radio. But it's the that's what saves you is listening to people chit chat. So for me, I'm like, we could do that. We just keep chit chatting, let people download them when they can. This nice thing about the podcast is we didn't start with a set schedule. We just grab them whenever you wanted.
Right, and they're available on iTunes and stuff like that.
At all times.
Yeah.
You can always access them. But we doing it for about almost 2 years, and finally I was like, I was doing 5 shows a day anyway, different shows. So I was like, Mosier, I think, was like, dude, that's close to being on air. He's going daily at that point. So we took Smodcast, we turned it into Smodcast Internet Radio, and from 8 till 10 every morning, me and Mewes do a show called Jay and Silent Bob. Well, I'm sorry, that's 10 till noon. Jay and Silent Bob Good Jobs. From 8 to 10 is me and my wife do a show called +1 per diem. So we do like a 4-hour block every day. And it is the most gratifying, funnest stuff I've done since like Clerks 2.
Really?
Oh, it's just a blast, dude. Like that's what I'm geared for. I'm not a visual stylist, so putting together movies is always like, you know, a fat dude playing soccer. You can try as hard as you want, but ultimately you're not going to be the best on the field and stuff. So, you know, you can try to up your game, but it's not your forte. Fat man's forte in sports, competitive eating.
There you go. So
for me to pick up podcasting is like me to embrace competitive eating. I'm like, let's be honest, we all know I can do this really well, you know, and start talking.
So Jason, what do you guys rap about? Like when you guys do your podcast?
About three-legged dogs.
Okay, cool. That's good
Sorry,
stuff.
no, I have to speak about the three-legged dogs.
When they listen, I'm just talking about theater of the mind, and you're like, look at the TV.
Look at the dog.
Now, remember when they made this face?
I'm enjoying it, but you know what? I had to take off the last couple of days. I was in Winnipeg shooting a TV show, and the traveling and stuff. You can still hear it a little bit, but
yeah, how do you guys deal with
my
that? Do you guys ever lose your voices?
You know what? We went through a spat at the beginning of the year where we were all sick because we're in this, you know,
sharing
cesspool,
germs. Yeah, exactly.
And they don't clean this studio ever.
Thank you, Clear Channel.
Yeah, I mean they're a mom and pop operation. You know they can't afford maids.
Startup. Yeah.
So
I'm not sick anymore.
every single one of us was getting sick nonstop.
Right.
And some of it was laryngitis. And
Yeah.
Sky, our news girl here, she lost her voice for a couple days.
And
Oh,
So what do you do?
I showed up
horrible.
and sounded like a freaking duck on the radio for 2 days.
Honestly, guys, best she's ever sounded.
Okay.
Everyone really paid attention. They're like, oh, this is important. This is our voice. She's means business.
Why is Sky crying all the time? No, but I mean, it happens. You know, so.
Yeah, that was something like the other day. He came in, I think it was yesterday morning, the day before, and he started talking. I'm like, dude, go home.
Yeah.
Like, we'll do something.
So did you just do it by yourself?
I did. I've gotten to the point where I'm like, I don't need anybody. I'll just talk. Like a psychotic rambling in a cabin up in the North Woods and just talking about how things going wrong. I'm like Woody Harrelson in 2012.
Yes.
That's what I felt like.
Great call.
Is your show about being funny? Is it about like topical issues?
Essentially, well, I mean,
political?
of course we aim for funny, but that's, you know, in the eye of the ear of the beholder, if you will.
yeah,
But we
for
go,
sure.
the easiest thing is, as you guys know, like it becomes a question of, it's one thing when you're doing 1 hour a week podcasts, walk in the park for a dude who can talk.
Mm-hmm.
You even get to 5 different podcasts. That's a walk in the park because you got 5 different people co-hosting. But once you go daily, and once you go 4 hours daily, as you guys know, content, everything
It's
is
everything.
possible
Yep.
content.
Yeah.
Like you're waking up 4 or 5 in the morning, reading the news, and just putting together like stuff that you know you could go to. Always to have back pockets.
For sure.
So
I mean,
that there's never dead air.
You go grocery shopping, and you're like, oh, I gotta remember to talk about that.
Of course,
that's a show.
everything that happens, and that's why I've always liked about radio is it's so much more personal than most of the other art forms because it requires the person telling the story or just talking or whatever to keep giving of themselves. Because at a certain point, we're all, you know, we're not bottomless, but we've run out of stuff to talk about. But when you do it as often as like you guys are doing it, or we just started doing it for like 2 months, everything becomes content. You look at everything and you meet people and you're like, you're fascinating. Come talk for an hour.
Yeah.
That's an hour of content.
Yeah.
And you're like, we don't have to talk. We just sit back and watch this person talk.
Absolutely.
Life is prep.
Yes.
Absolutely.
It really, really is. Just as long as you always had, and that's what I was telling him from the jump, even when we started the podcast. I said, always have 3 things in the back pocket to go to. That way, if like things die or if like there's sudden dead air, or you could just reach for it and it changes
Well,
the
it's
top
just like that.
subject.
Traveling, I'm sure you see weird stuff on planes and in the airports, and you're picking up on this, and I mean, that's life, and that's what people. It's whatever's relatable or weird or whatever. I mean, that's what people want to hear.
That's the
about.
weird stuff, man. Like I'm sure you guys notice. Like it's the trying to be funny is the no-brainer. We all try to hit everybody because that's the easiest way into any relationship.
Sure.
You know, just charm them with a little bit of humor.
Yeah.
But I also find that it's the non-funny stuff that you wind up doing that people really dial into.
Oh, no doubt.
It's crazy.
She talked about yesterday.
I can't.
Well, don't start crying in
I
front of
can't.
everybody.
What was it? What?
She's got to put her cat down.
Oh,
It's
horrible.
brutal.
Right.
But
and
who
so
hasn't gone
everybody
through that?
listening is going like, oh, who played that? Oh, that's cruel.
That is messed up.
That is worse than when Mewes yelled at Captain America.
I don't know that anything's worse than
Look
that.
at my blog, Kevin. Look how beautiful Tango is.
How old is Tango?
13.
Oh, come on, that's a good long
Tumors.
time.
Yeah.
Tumors.
Yeah, I mean, but 13, you hit the cat lottery.
Yeah.
13.
No
Hey,
doubt.
don't pull this glass half full crap with me.
Most people get 10
Hey.
or 5 if you live in a neighborhood with a lot of cars.
Hey,
13 is good. Yeah, or those.
Or
as well.
Chinese restaurants.
hey,
Who said
a
that?
little sympathy
Jay
here.
Grayson, I can't believe you said that to Captain America.
Damn it.
Listen, we got to take a break.
When
but-
does this unblessed event happen?
Well, we just got the diagnosis on Tuesday.
When are you going to do it?
Well, we're going to wait. They said we have a couple weeks to a month. We're going to let him go naturally unless... Gosh.
He's way painful. No, here, hold my hand. I got you. I got you.
Don't play music
that
from
song.
cats.
That's
You jerks.
You
Hey.
sing this with your cat.
Hey.
Come on.
So we're
You really
going
sing this with your cat?
to... sometimes. So we're gonna wait,
Right.
but if he starts to suffer, we're gonna have him put him down.
Oh no,
we're
here we go.
gonna-
The waterworks.
This is what you need to do. There was a lady Elizabeth, who worked in the makeup on Red State, who's a real dog person, loves her dogs.
Okay.
She told me the story, like she found out her dog was 12 years, 13 years old, tumors as well, not going to make it past a certain amount of time. She built the most beautiful day for this dog, took this dog to all the places it wanted to go. gave him steak, just the best day on earth.
Okay.
And then was there with them and you know, holding them, petting them as the doctor.
That sounds beautiful.
Yeah,
That's what
that's
I
the
want
what
to
you
do.
want to do.
Kevin.
You want to give
That's
back
what
to
I wanna do
that.
for my tango.
You want to give back to Tango. Tango has always been there for you, and this is
It's
the
like,
one
you know
moment. Cats don't need us. We know that. Cats
yeah,
are so
yeah.
independent.
They
This is the
do,
one
they
moment
do.
Tango is going to need you.
I
feel like Dr.
love
Phil.
You.
That was
I love
wonderful.
You, Kevin.
Where were you yesterday?
I know. Yeah, I'll jump on once a day.
We'll call you.
Anytime someone's losing an animal, I'll talk about the
Kevin, stat. Quick break when we get back though. I put on Facebook. Does anybody got a question for you guys, dude? Crazy
They're
stuff
like,
came
who
out of
are
that.
these people?
Well, no,
What happened to Captain America?
there was one particular question that came up a billion times,
Yeah.
and it's for Jason.
Oh, I want to hear it.
So that's coming up next. We'll do that in a second. Hang on.